Welcome back to another amazing video, and today is Frankie's birthday.
Every single year of my birthday, I've made more money. $1,000 my first year, $1,500 the second birthday.
And one of us is gonna have the biggest cash score of their life in this video. So let's see what happens.
Let's go.
Woo!
In the first hand of the night, there is a 4-bet. Okay, AA raises to $20 with ace-queen suited. Woodley with a shorter size stack, 3-bets to $60 with pocket 2s, and I look down at ace-10 suited on the button. I came here ready to play. Woodley is a very active player, so I'm actually not too worried about his 3-bet, and AA is still pretty wide here, even though it's under the gun. Still a lot of hands I can get to fold, and a 4-bet, a cold 4-bet at that, is going to look super strong. I'm never flat calling here. I'm either folding or raising, and we're raising. I make it $200 to go. Welcome to the table, everybody. It's my birthday, and we came to play. Gets back to AA, and he very reluctantly folds, and Woodley actually takes a little bit more time with his decision before deciding to make the fold as well. Great first hand for us.
First hand for me, we see Pat limp under the gun. Brandon opens to $30 and +1. Woodley calls in the cutoff, and we wake up with Cowboys on the button. Yes, I 3-bet to $110. Gets back to Pat, who limp 4-bet rips it all in for over $700 with pocket 8s. And Brandon goes for the 5-bet jam for $1,700. The biggest pot of my life continues right now. We call, and the pot is now $2,700. Hi, Mom and Dad. 3 ways to 1 run out and 1 run out only. The flop comes deuce 5-4, turn deuce, river, king. We win the biggest pot of our entire life right at the start of the stream, and the craziness is not going to stop for the rest of this session. For example, the very next hand dealt, yes, as I'm still stacking my chips, we see Brandon straddle to 10. The stream graphics do miss that. We have ace-10 of spades in the cutoff and raise to $40, and sure enough, both Pat and Brandon call. Here we go again, and the flop comes ace-king 10 rainbow no spades. We flop 2 pair. Brandon is still in the hand. They both check to me. I c-bet 75 into what is actually 120, and both players make the call. The turn, swear, it's the 10 of clubs. We boat up. Poker is just so awesome sometimes. It checks to me again, and here's my thinking. I want to keep value betting, but I also don't want to get 2 folds. So I size half pot, 175, rather than something like 2/3. Hopefully they call and hit their flush, hit their straight, etc. if they are drawing. This time we see Pat fold and Brandon call. The graphics are still wrong. The pot is $700 as we head to an inconsequential offsuit deuce river. Brandon checks, and I was in between sizing bigger or tiny here. Brandon could call light, maybe interpret a small bet as weakness and spaz bluff raise me. In the moment though, I was just in max value mode, and figured he did have a good hand for coming along all this way. So I bet $500, and he folds what was just ace X on his end. We take this one down and are on fire to start the session.
I couldn't make it to this live stream, unfortunately, so here's some hands I played from a 125 live stream ran by an awesome guy named Duck. This game is a watermelon. It is juicy. Here we open ace-jack in the big blind to 40 over 1 limp and only get called by Mr. Regis in the straddle. You will certainly see more of him in upcoming vlogs. Flop is quite a nice sight to see. Ace-jack-9 with a flush draw. I continue with the small bet of 40, and Regis sticks around for a turn, which brings in the flush. Although it downgrades our specific hand, there are plenty of holdings that Mr. Regis could still have that we can collect some value from and have absolutely crushed. I bet again for $100, no need to go too big, and Regis stealthily grabs a big ol' stack of greens and raises me to 300. Interesting spot, but there are plenty of bluffs like straight draw plus flush draws, and Regis is an action player very capable of having bluffs here. He can also have some weaker 2 pairs that might want to raise here as well, so I don't think folding is in the question just yet. I call, proceeding cautiously, and we head to an offsuit 10 on the river. Although it seems connected, this card really shouldn't change much besides king-queen getting there. I check, and Regis proudly flips over 2 red 7s for the bluff ski on the turn, and we scoop this one in. Not sure about that turn bet, but gonna lean on pokercoaching.com, Jonathan Little's site, to find out what we should have done there. So what do you think, Jonathan? Make sure to check out our link in our bio for poker coaching. It's something that's massively upgraded our cash game skills, and I think it can help you guys out too. So check that out. Link in our description for 50% off pokercoaching.com.
In this scenario, I think you can be pretty sure if you check the turn, they're going to be betting very frequently with all of their potential bluffs. And also that makes it to where you're not really in a dicey scenario where you end up getting stacked and they do happen to have you beat.
Chips are flying at this table. We already lost a player and Quan has replaced him. I look down at pocket queens under the gun and put in a sneaky limp. I've already chipped up to well over $2,000 at this point. And this is a 1500 max game, but Quan sat in with over $2,000 in his stack. He just walked over from 1-2 and put too much money on the table. No one noticed, and am I kind of spoiling things? A big pot is coming. He raises ace-5 of diamonds to $45 and Woodley on the button makes the call. It gets back to me. I'm definitely going to put in a raise here. I want to go for a larger sizing because we're pretty deep. And I make it $250 to go. Quan very quickly makes the call to $250 and Woodley folds. If I was going to ask you what a perfect flop would be, you would probably say ace, queen, 9, 2 hearts. We flop middle set and Quan flopped a pair. We down bet to $200 and Quan really quickly makes the call. At this speed of the call, I'm thinking he's pretty ace heavy, and the turn is the 3 of hearts, which is not a good card. If he does have an ace, he's going to be scared of the flush. I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to continue going for value. I'd probably check if I had just an ace, but with the set, there's plenty of value to get. I put out a bet of $300 on the turn, and if he decides to raise me, I like to go for a smaller bet in the turn, so his raise size will be smaller, and I can continue with a call and try to boat up on the river. But Quan's not raising. He just very quickly calls with his pair of aces, and the river is the 8 of clubs. At the time, I thought Quan only had $1,500 in his stack. So even though I made it $300 on the turn, I'd always imagined I was going to put him all in. And I thought it was for less than $1,000 or around $1,000. And I go all in, but it's actually for $1,600. So it is a huge river bet. And Quan, well, he makes the call. He calls with top pair. We show the set and we are good. A $4,200 pot on my birthday is coming our way. Always play on your birthday, guys, and the session is still young.
There we go, Frank the Bank. Love to see that big pot energy. Let me keep the mojo going with our first premium of the night in Duck's game. There's an open to 20 in the cutoff. Daryl, my good buddy, calls on the button, and we peel pocket cowboys in the small blind. Now, typically, a boring GTO raise would be like $100 here, but this game is action, and I can make it much bigger, so I go with $150 to build this pot up. Regis picks up a monster in the big blind, and $150 is never going to be enough to make him return his cards to the dealer. He calls, and we end up going heads up to a flop of 8-7-4 with a flush draw. Typically, this is a board I would check my range in a 3-bet pot, but like I said, GTO doesn't account for absolute maniacal games. I bet $150 again, and Regis decides to peel one with king high. Turn is a jack. Regis has about a 75% pot size bet left, but I decide to size a bit down, hoping he doesn't fold a pair. I bet $375. Looking back, I don't think this bet actually does anything besides changing the factor of actually saying the words all in. It's essentially the same thing. Anyways, Regis has king high and says, "Nice hand, young sir, but I cannot call," and he gets out of the way.
This hand we see Woodley limp, and we wake up with cowboys again. Yes, we raise to $25, and Pat wakes up with the ladies and rips his last $85 all in. It folds back to me. We snap call, and the run out comes 3-9-3, 7 jack. We felt Pat for a second time with the same hand. He takes it like a champ, though. Pat is the absolute homie. We keep on rolling.
We're going to try to keep this train rolling. We look down at pocket queens again under the gun. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I put in a limp for $5, and this strategy of limp raising works very well when the person on the button is raising 6-4 offsuit to $30. Oh no, Rosie, what? He picks up pocket kings in the small blind.
We 3-bet Woodley to $100, and Frankie comes in for the limp 4-bet to $325. Woodley folds, and wow. This is the deepest I have ever played, 2.8k effective here. And let's think about this. Woodley opened on the button. I play the small blind as a 3-bet or fold most of the time as it's a bad position, so I 3-bet wider in general. Woodley opens pretty wide, as you can see, so I'm going to be 3-betting extra wide when he's on the button and I'm in the small blind. Frankie, obviously, is a beast, and he recognizes this, so he is going to be 4-betting me wider than usual. All that's to say, I know this too, so it allows me to have a wider 5-bet range with some 5-bet bluffs. Normally, a 5-bet, obviously, super strong, but in this specific configuration, it has merit. I 5-bet to $900.
$900. Rosie, what could you have in your hand? 5 bets are just always the nuts, right, guys? And at this point, if Rosie has decided to bluff me with ace-jack or ace-5 suited, like some people like to use as their 5-bet bluffs, I just want to let him have it. But because we've already been doing so well, I've only had $300 invested in this pot, I decide to just let it go. Rosie, you can have it. Nice hand. We're not going to be playing a 6K pot today.
Now, I can have hands that are behind pocket queens here due to this configuration, so getting him to fold here is actually nice from a range perspective. If I have ace-king here, which I definitely can have, this is a huge win, for example. It's always fun to do battle with Frank the Bank, who does make a correct fold here. Nice hand, player.
As we shake off that last loss against Rosie, we're on to the next hand. AA raises ace-king to $20. Woodley makes the call with a beautiful 5-deuce offsuit. I'm in the big with jack-10 offsuit incomplete. With through raise to a flop, which comes queen, deuce, queen. I check, AA checks, and Woodley puts a bet of $30. I just actually don't fold here, which is the assumed play. I make the call. I'm just floating. I don't think Willie has anything, and I plan to bluff later. AA calls as well, which I don't like to see, but since he checked and just called, I don't think he's got a big hand. The turn comes the 4 of diamonds, and the dealer asked me if I checked, and I hadn't done anything yet, so I say no. And then I decide, kind of spur the moment, to turn my float into a lead on the turn, and I put our bet at $60. I've kind of rambled over my words a few times here trying to explain why I did this, but I don't know, intuitively it just felt right. I didn't think either of them had anything. So we get AA to fold ace-king, which makes sense, and Woodley with his 5-2 actually gives me a ton of credit here and folds as well. A $60 bet into pot of 150, just got a pair of deuces to fold. The float works great, and things are just going well today.
Attaboy Frank, nice bluff. This hand we face an open to 40 and 2 callers before we peel jack-10 of clubs in the small blind. A suited Broadway hand. Let's just call, take a flop out of position, getting a great price. Psych! I see the $125 in the pot and a game where people are opening with garbage, and I see my knit image with a low VPIP making the spot pretty enticing. I go for it here and bump it up to 215. It quickly folds back to Will, who was the initial aggressor, and we can see he has a pretty decent holding. He seems on the fence between folding and calling, but reads me like an absolute book in 4 bets to 540. Folds back to me. I'm kicking myself under the table, but calling here would just be a disaster. I fold, lick my wounds, and we move on.
Here the $20 straddle is on, and we have pocket tens. You're gonna have to believe me, the stream did not pick it up. We raised to $60, and it folds back to the straddler, who pops it to 200. We're in position, we've got a solid hand. We're gonna stick around, we make the call. The flop comes jack 7-5 with 2 hearts, and our opponent checks, which is great to see. Though I think we like a check back on our end as well. No need to bloat the 3-bet pot with second pair and already over $400 in the middle. We head off to a turn, which is the 7 of clubs, second club, and our opponent now bets 175. After he didn't c-bet and the multiple draws available, we decide to stick around once more and make the call again. The river is the 5 of hearts, double pairing the board and completing the front door flush. Thankfully, we see a check. We get to showdown, check it back, and we win a $777 3-bet pot with second pair. I love that we stood our ground with the tens on this one and took it down.
In my next hand, Willie raises the almost Robbie from early position. I flat with pocket 3s. Yeah, we're calling it the almost Robbie, guys. And Brandon 3 bets to $125 with pocket 10s. We're playing $3,000 deep, so we're gonna make the call here. Let's go to what's hopefully a good birthday flop, and yes it is. 3, 4, 9 rainbow. Wow, guys, you have to play on your birthday. Every year I run good. Brandon, he continues here for $75, and I make a pretty big blunder. I just flat call here. I planned on raising the turn, but the turn came a jack, which made Brandon check back. Ouch. We get another overcard on the river, a queen, and I'm desperate for Brandon to put more money in the middle. With over $500 in the pot, I put a little squeaker bet of $130 out. And to my surprise, the action player, as Brandon would admit, snap folded pocket tens to my $130 bet. I mean, the flop was 9-3-4. Why would I have a jack or queen here? If you rewind the tapes, he was eating this whole hand, and I think that kind of messed up his betting size. But wow, good fold, Brandon, and unfortunately, I didn't take more money from him.
This hand, we see another button open from Woodley. Like I said in my pocket kings hand versus Frankie, we're going to be 3-betting a lot from the small blind in this specific configuration. That's what we do with king jack of hearts. I make it 100, and Woodley makes the call with 10-4 of diamonds. And we go to a flop of king queen 10 rainbow, no heart. We flop top pair with an open ender, we c-bet it for $75, and Woodley is looking to cause emotional damage to me by making the call. And the turn is, you guessed it, the inconsequential 4 of clubs, or so I think. Let's keep putting money in on this awesome turn card. There's no way that 4 helped him at all. I bet $175, and he makes the call. The river is the 8 of spades. We brick our straight draw. I do decide to check here and give Woodley room to bluff, and we also don't have a super strong hand in this pot that's now over $700. Woodley bets $200, less than a third of the pot. Nice try at a bluff, Woodley. I call. Yeah, Woodley owns my soul. We come slightly back down to earth after our still amazing session. Nice hand, Woodley.
In for 1,500, out for 3,760.
Birthday run good.
In for 1,000, out for $2,995.
Is that the biggest win?
It is.
Let's go! I was in for 15, out for 13. Small loss.
Leave a like.
Drop a comment.
Subscribe.
Peace.
Peace.